Pro Perspective peeps? Seamus and Marco's back with another great episode, and we have a great guest today. I want to shout out one of our homies, Alina. Alina made a connect here. Alina is one of the coaches that I know out in the Glendale area, Glendale Equinox, and also at the same time, is competing in bodybuilding, physique, and stuff. With that being said, wanted to introduce Pablo here. Pablo, thanks so much for being on the pod today. I wanted to get this connect going because Alina connected us. You're a trainer in the local area. You've got passion, purpose, everything. But also at the same time, you're talking about bringing in a brand called Momentum, which I really resonated with. And I just felt like, okay, this is super cool. This is super fun stuff. But Pablo, you mind introducing yourself a little bit to our audience and just kind of get into a conversation from there?
Yeah, my name is Pablo Buenrostro. I've been a trainer for about maybe 3 to 4 years now. I've been an athlete my whole life, so I grew up playing soccer. I have like 20 plus years of just like at the youth level, at the semi-pro level, at the professional level. Played all throughout my youth. After soccer was over for me, I feel like most athletes kind of hit a point where like, wow, like the sport you kind of grew up playing your whole life, kind of what you identified as your whole life, you kind of don't know what's next. So for me, I started working out. I started seeing progress in the gym. I started seeing how self-improvement really made an impact in my life. And I'm like, I really want to be a part of something that has to be around fitness, because it's been a part of my whole life. So to fill that void of soccer, I got into weightlifting and I started working out. And that's kind of how I became a trainer. I'm like, I was introduced to personal training and I'm like, wow, like, this is great. Personal training saved my life, gave me purpose. And I want to help other people embark on that same journey because I feel like, in our lives, we kind of always go through this, like, we always pursue a purpose, or maybe we don't identify a purpose just yet, but I feel like there's always something we're pursuing. And I feel like for me, that became personal training. And it really, honestly, that's how I became a trainer. Now I'm at Equinox, right? I started off at Fitness 19. I was there for 2 years, actually. You actually go to that gym now, so it's kind of funny, small world, right? Now I'm at Equinox. I also have my own private clientele as well. I train out of the Apollo, right? Close by. And and that's kind of how Momentum came about. The same thing with my two partners. We kind of hit a point where, we obviously, with the structure of school, the structure of, you go to school, you get your BA, and then what's next, right? What do you go from there? And then, we kind of were like, we want to do something bigger and we want to be a part of something bigger. So that's kind of how Momentum came about. And with my friends, they're pretty much like really into fashion, they're very creative people. So, and I've been into fitness my whole life. So like, why don't we just like start like something like athleisure wear, where it's like fashionable, but it's also like a lot of functionality in the clothing and how it goes about. So that's kind of how Momentum was born. Yeah. Now we're here.
Athleisure wear.
Yeah.
If you can are you guys good at making dupes? I know this is like a really weird question for getting started.
Yeah. Dupes as in like, like Prada dupes or something like that? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, there's a pair of old Lululemon anti-gravity pants that if someone could make a knockoff of it, like I would pay like $150 a pair, like no doubt.
Honestly, we probably could. I'm not gonna lie. We could probably make something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like everybody's gone to the single pocket for the back, and I want two pockets, and I want like two pockets in the back. You know what I mean? And I want this material. So if you could dupe this material and make a jogger with it, like take my money.
Send over my way, man, and we'll see what my manufacturer can do about it. So.
Oh, let's go. All right. No, but okay. Well, Pablo, first off, dude, I meant to compliment you on the mustache. On the first time we tried doing this, it's money. So it's a money stash.
Thank you, man.
Everybody that's just listening to this, go to the video so you can see Pablo's mustache because honestly, it is glorious. And first and foremost, I think not enough men these days rock a mustache. My wife.
Honestly, your beard is nice. I really wanted the beard, but I couldn't grow it out. So I was like, let me just embrace that Latino heritage, and just rock the stash.
So
rock the stash.
I would do it, but Filipinos, the way it happens is like it just goes patchy. So I can never match but any of you. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I would definitely. I actually rock the mustache. Fun story, everybody. I used to rock a mustache when I was first a teacher, and I was known as Mr. Mustache amongst the K through 8 kids, and all the little kids loved it. And then it was also like, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I think this is a stigma that I don't want to have. But it had I started getting the curls on it, and then my wife said I can't grow it out again. And I was like, come on, imagine this beard with like just a little bit of that with it. I think like it would be a good look. Granted, Seamus, I feel like I would look like Dr. Campion a little bit.
He already has that look down. I can only handle one person in my life that waxes their beard. So
it waxes the
It'd
mustache.
definitely be a statement piece for sure.
Yeah.
I know. I want that statement piece. Yeah. So, anyways,
And people notice it, right? People are like, "Oh, like nice stash," and it's kind of funny,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
some people can't like rock it though. So I feel like the fact that you can like really pull it off is like, again, I'm jealous. I'm jealous that my wife won't let me do it. So I need to let you know about that too. So it's a good,
Thanks,
solid
man. I
look.
appreciate it.
I feel like it definitely fits the idea behind what you guys are doing as well. If you're trying to be like fashionable, I mean, what's more fashionable than being able to pull that off, right?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, man. Yeah.
And then I also should say the Fitness 19 origin story. Our other colleague, well, actually our boss, Rudy, also had like. James, did I tell you this story? Actually, I ran into somebody after we dropped the podcast episode with Rudy that was like, I recognize you from Rudy's page because he reposted your guys' podcast and I see you here every day. So I just came to say hi. And I was like, dude, this is a small world. He's like, I used to work out with Rudy at Fitness 19. So I feel like a lot of great trainers get their,
they get their start at the Fitness 19.
I mean, I think it's a great place to start because like there's so much traffic, right? So like I probably trained like hundreds of clients within 2 years of being at Fitness 19. So it's like, yeah, you're just constantly getting fed clientele. So you're not really out on the floor like looking for clients. It's more like, here's all the clients and like figure out how to deal with different personalities. I don't know, it's a good place to start for sure.
No, it's a good place to start for sure. Yeah.
I've never been into Fitness 19. Am I missing anything?
It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. I definitely think it's, you know what it is, brother? I think every gym has a community and every gym has like a thing. But there's a special place for Fitness 19 because I've gotten to know the people at the one that Pablo, it's on Eagle Rock and Colorado Boulevard. But that 5 a.m. crew, they just become family. Some of them have become friends, and they become super cool. And I think every gym, I don't think you're necessarily missing anything other than the people, probably.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of like, just fitness centers in general, like gyms. I feel like, like the reason why people get kind of like become a community is because like we're all like trying on that, like working on that path of self-improvement. So like I feel like you all just really on that level and it just becomes like a family, honestly.
I feel like there needs to be more conversations amongst the 5 a.m. crews. So I feel like it's like, I feel like the EOS people, like there's a lot of us that see each other, you give the fist bumps, talk for a second, try not to get into like, again, like these people are probably on a timeline. They got shot clock. That's what we call it. Like you got 5 minutes to go before that like 6 o'clock hour hits and you got to get the hell out of there. So I think a lot of us just acknowledge like, yo, what's up? But I definitely feel like there's a lot of people there that would have some good chats. It's just that I don't want to sacrifice my workout to do that.
No, I feel like the 5 a.m. crew is like, get in, get out. Like I gotta go to work. I got things to do. There's always different crews. I feel like the 6 p.m. crew, like the 5 to 8 p.m. crew, is like, all right, I just got off work. I'm kind of trying to relax. I'm kind of trying to socialize. It's a little different vibe, for sure.
Yeah.
I've never worked in a commercial gym, like big box gym. It's always been CrossFit, so it's like kind of everybody's still on a time crunch. So I feel like there's definitely a lot of. I mean, there's just so many different subcultures, amidst the subcultures of the different gyms. Like I'm sure you get a completely different feel with like the Equinox people plus your private people, right? Like do you feel like there's a difference between those two type of clienteles? Or is it in a good way, bad way?
The Equinox definitely has their own clientele, for sure, like premium, lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my privates are more, they kind of came from Fitness 19. So I would say, it is different. It is different for sure.
Are you gonna give me? So I'm not bougie enough for Equinox, and when I was in New York, but I got a tour because we were just I was doing with a coworker of mine, and so he was shopping out gyms. He's like, yeah, and the guy that was doing the sales pitch was like, we're more of a results oriented gym here at Crunch Fitness. Equinox is has a little bit more of the amenities, but we got everything that you need here. But like, if you're definitely here, like for the results, we got you. And I was like, ooh, that was an interesting sales pitch. Like I was like, it was a little. Yeah. I don't know if it was a jab. It's just like we don't have quite as many amenities, but we do have like a steam room, a sauna. Plus you can go to all of the locations with the same membership. And I was like, I don't know if you get that with Knox. Do you get that? Is it like, are you specific to one or do you hit all?
There's specific to one, but there's also like a SoCal Access where you kind of get to go to all the gyms as well.
Okay, you got to pay that extra piper.
There's levels to it. There's even like somewhere like you can only go to this, like you cannot like a different membership, pretty much, right?
Oh wow. So they're not corporate, or this is like it's like a private version of it, or is that how that works?
I don't know. There's even some like executive locker rooms in certain locations.
Just like
Yeah, go for it.
oh yeah, like ones that are like oh, I remember fun story on the strip. Like there's certain rooms that you don't even know that they're actual like rooms that are like executive lounges. And I forget who it was that was working at one. Like literally was like, hey, if we go behind this wall right here, like he pressed the wall in, opened up, legit, like put you into the super secret executive suite. And I was like, that's what I kind of envision here. What you're saying with that, like it's like you don't even know that this wall literally leads into like the super secret locker room.
I didn't know that Equinox has some locations and they're called E by Equinox. So I think there's only 5 locations in the world, and it's like pretty much like the most premium experience of the gym. It's called E. It's really cool. You should look into it.
If we make it, Marcos, if we make it, we get the E. We get the E exclusive.
Yeah.
No, man, I just want to go to the hotel that our other guest talked about, the Equinox Hotel, where you can have all the therapy devices in your bedroom, after a long day at work.
Yeah, it's a 5-star hotel.
Like a 5-star hotel, yeah, dude. That's the name of the game.
That's definitely one of my on my bucket list for sure.
Does it actually exist, or is it just a concept?
No, it exists. It's in New York.
Yeah. Okay. Next time we're in New York, Seamus, I'm gonna pay the extra money, put it on the company card.
hey,
count me in. I get a little discount too, so I'll take.
Hey, then we gotta get Pablo in there.
Yeah, we're gonna get it. It's like it's like I got gym access, I got all my food taken care of, and it's also a hotel, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna pay the extra money for it. It's like that. Just wipe it off. That's all my per diem. I just want to experience this for one night.
And we got Pablo in, so it's like we got an Equinox Connect, like
Yeah, I got them here. You guys can let us in now.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. But I know Seamus was kind of really interested in talking more about like the apparel a bit more when he was excited about like talking about it. Like he got a little giddy with that. So like, I mean, where are you guys at? Like you mentioned manufacturer and distribution already. I feel like what phase are you guys in? You have a website and all that stuff already existing, or
so like I was actually talking to Seamus about this. So like when we started out our embarking on this journey, we spent a year of just like brainstorming and research. Like we weren't selling things. We were really just brainstorming. We were trying to figure out the game because there's so much that goes into just like selling apparel and just the whole manufacturing process, the order of operations. Yeah. So we spent a lot of time just like planning, like coming up with the name, coming up with our slogan, what we stand for, what we're representing, our niche, like our audience, like everything, right? We were just figuring it all out. And then like, I mean, obviously you learn as you go, right? The more you take action, the more you start to see like what kind of starts to resonate with people or what works, what doesn't work. But now we're in business, right? We've been selling for a couple months now. We're about to release our white tees, our legacy tees.
Those look fresh. I've gotten to feel it too, by the way, Marcos. It feels good, man. It feels real good.
Is it a blend? Is it cotton? I gotta know.
So we went with like So I've never really seen like an oversized tee. I like the oversized relaxed tee because it's fashionable. 2, it's very comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. And I've never really seen like, it's mostly cotton. Like most of these like especially like bodybuilding brands, it's mostly just cotton. So I'm like, like why don't we create something that's like more like more premium fabric? So it's more like a mix of like poly, cotton, and like maybe elastane, and like it really gave us this like nice like kind of like luxurious feel for it. So it feels great. It feels like I'm not even wearing a tee sometimes, and honestly, like a lot of people, the feedback has been great on it.
Sweet. I mean, I'm definitely game to give that kind of shirt a try. I've actually I bought I think it's just a true classic tee, right? Like normally it was wearing those. Yeah, I was just wearing like the plain black shirts for a while, and I'm a stickler because like I have a long torso, so like having the right length like that matters to me because I don't like going up like this and then my midriff showing. I'm not really into that like crop top look.
You'll like these ones. You'll like these ones, Marcos. They're like that longer silhouette, right, Pablo?
I feel like honestly we kind of went with like a boxy look, so it's not that long, right? We did want it to be more like, I feel like when it's too long, it almost looks like a dress, So we kind of went with like a normal size length, right? If you can always size up, I mean, you can never go wrong with sizing up, but yeah, like it's definitely not like super long, but it's like long enough to like if you wore it with jeans, it have the right silhouette, All of our like designs really like we take a lot of time into like developing the silhouette. and like we're really into streetwear. So like we're kind of trying to add that like streetwear into like the athleisure wear. It's kind of like a mix of both.
Yeah. So True Classic gave like kind of like their performance shirt, which actually had a longer length and more of like not like a cotton polyester blend, but more of like I guess it's polyester rayon or whatever the blend is, and then but still like oversized. You know what I mean? So like I'll wear that for like leg days. I like wearing a t-shirt on leg days or like the oversized like kind of box look, and then like tank top like this on like upper body days because we're trying to see the
you got to show off the pump, man. You got to show off the pump. Yeah. I mean, definitely. Honestly, I love wearing the shirt. Sometimes even I just like wearing an upper body days. It's so much like I feel like the drop shoulder just really makes you look the physique very very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. I'm telling you, it's not heavy. You sweat and it absorbs it. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So first question is like, what's the site? What's the
MomentumUS.co is our site. It's on our Instagram. We actually have our Instagram too. It's Momentum_US. So you can check out our site.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do a little bit right now as we're here. But I mean the logo. I mean, show that to the camera one more time so people can see that. Not that we're trying to like push sales.
Yeah, the logo's
that's money. Who designed that?
It's not where you start. It's where you finish.
Oh snap! Okay, so this is what we got to get into. So obviously we're talking about the fabrics, we're talking about the features, but yeah, dude, like, tell us about like the purpose, the mission of like Momentum. Like, why choose Momentum? What's the story there? And then like, yeah, tell us about the niche, the people that like you're trying to resonate with. Because I was like, dude, I feel like you created, when you were telling it to me, like you created a whole story. I think like sometimes people create like a product or a brand. They're just like, oh, I just want to create a product or a brand, but like there isn't a story, there isn't an identity. I feel like you guys thought about that. You and your partners thought about that.
Oh my God, we thought about it so much, man. I've read so many books, like so many marketing books, like just so much research into other brands just to figure out like what can we create. And I feel like Nike was very inspiring to us. Honestly, like their story and how they came about, like and how they go about storytelling for us, but really, really like inspired our creativity. So the story behind Momentum is like our biggest thing again, like how I kind of talked about a little bit over how like like after usually, I mean for the most part, like in the US, like after school you kind of hit this point where like you don't really have a purpose in life, you kind of don't know where your life's gonna go. So with Momentum, we're really trying to like really highlight like, hey, like like it's important to pursue a purpose, right? There's always gonna be a purpose out there that's bigger than yourself. Right. And with Momentum, we really just want to create a community of like like-minded individuals. We really want to have just a bunch of people on that same path, just of fulfillment. Right. So I feel like initially, obviously, we're more of like a fitness niche. Right. And I was talking to you about this. There's no like really like a brand that really like stands for like functional movement, and functional fitness. And after my journey and my experience as a trainer, I fell in love with functional fitness. I started off as a bodybuilder, slash like power building, you can say I was kind of into. And I always read, I read, that's pretty much how I went about. And I felt like now that I'm kind of in this space of like, like more like health and wellness and longevity, like there's no brand that really stands for functional fitness. So I feel like at Momentum, that's what we stand for.
Yeah.
Hence, which is why we have like the Trainers Club collection. So if you see here, it kind of says Trainers Club.
Yeah, see that, yeah.
Right. So Trainers Club, just because I feel like, yeah, I mean, a lot of trainers, we train for, longevity and sustainability. So, I mean, obviously all the aesthetic perks are part of it, but definitely just in it for the long game. So I feel like that's kind of how Momentum came to be. Yeah.
I love that. Like the momentum, the purpose, having a purpose, especially like at a key time. Sometimes some people feel a little bit lacking a purpose, especially after college. For some folks, I'd like what you said though about like a functional fitness brand. I'll be honest, the only functional fitness brand that like really comes to mind obviously is Reebok, because they did that with CrossFit, right? But Marcos, can I just be really honest? Like, as much as I love Reebok and their shoes are like great, like the Nano ones all the way to whatever Nano they're at now, the shoes have always been clutch. But the clothing, bro, I think the clothing they just went crazy with. Always got the flags. They always got like a bunch of like tags on their shirt, a bunch of different things, and it's cool. It's colorful, but I feel like it doesn't have the luxury premium feel that like Momentum would do in the functional fitness space. And
I'm telling you,
Don't get me started on the shorts, man. Those shorts, Marcos, they got like so boxy, those shorts. What the hell are those, bro? Remember those, Marcos?
So you mostly brand like they just like they bring the functionality to it, but they don't bring the fashion to it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So like we really want it to look pristine, premium, and good. Like we're bringing that like I mean like I feel like when you look good, you perform good, right? So like I feel like all these like I don't know these brands. I don't know. I haven't really seen too much Reebok, so I can't speak on them. But I feel like it's just so like big boxy logo and like I don't know that. I mean maybe they care about the functionality, maybe not, but it just doesn't look good. It's not very pleasing, you know. Like I want to be able to wear this in and out of the gym, right? Functional fitness.
The only other one that I could think of is Barbell Apparel, right, Marcos? That's kind of it.
It's. I mean, I'm a stickler for apparel, if I'm being honest. Like it's like almost why I don't wear anything that has any logos or much to it at times.
Same. That's why I like, for example, like Viore. I like got this like Viore shirt.
Yes.
It's, like it's a perfect silhouette. It fits perfectly. I'm like, I could wear this to a nice dinner, or I could wear this to the gym because that's what it's made for. But the problem, I think, Marcos, like what we're saying is like, yeah, if there's like too much of a, if that doesn't feel right, if it doesn't sit right, or it washes wrong, or also at the same time, if that logo's too much, I like kind of like what Momentum's doing. There's just like, dude, that looks sleek, elegant, yet I know I can kill it in a workout with that too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like for me, like, sometimes the logo placement, like I'll never be able to live this down, but I got a Nike swoosh tee that had one in the center for Christmas, and my wife got so mad because she's like, "You're not going to wear it, are you?" And I was like, "No, like I like how it fits, but I don't like the location of it." So like, and it's, and then she's like, "God, you're so fucking picky." I was like, "Well, it's like it's my preference, you know. It's supposed to be what I want to wear."
It matters. It really matters where it is. Yeah, 100%.
And so, like, you know, I'm like looking at your logo. I was like, "Oh, okay," but it's in the center, and again, that's just a personal preference thing. But I'm sure, like, most people like that because it's like a statement piece, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's different. It's different for sure. I mean, we obviously we get inspired by other brands too, but we definitely want to be, what do you call it? We definitely want to be,
authentically you guys. Yeah.
Let me plug this in real quick.
Yeah, and I think it's like everybody's going to have their preference, and I think there'll be a bunch of different styles and ones that do better than others, and like there's a lot of logistical thinking that goes into considering the end design. I'd have to imagine, and
man, it's been a journey, man. It's like I feel like people mostly see like the end result, but like I mean, honestly, there's so much time goes into what we've been doing. I truly believe in what we're doing, and I truly believe that it's going to be something big. I just feel like it's a matter of when, not why. You know, it's when for me. Like it's going to happen. It's inevitable. So I'm just looking forward to it. I'm enjoying the process of it. I think the biggest thing that we kind of started to realize it's like delayed gratification. You know, it's like working out. It's like you're not going to work out one day super hard and then like tomorrow like I'm jacked, you know, or I'm big. It's like no, you're going to work out for a couple years and then you're going to start to feel good, right? So that's kind of how we're kind of treating it at Momentum. It's like it's part of the process, man. Enjoy the journey. You know, we're gonna mess up. We're gonna fall in love with the journey and just kind of just wait for it.
Give the listeners a little bit of that demo, kind of like you were telling me about like the shirt, like what it took to get the shirt or like the hoodie or the shorts you guys are maybe working on, like what it took to get there. I was like, I didn't even know that was like that extensive. Like
so we hired a virtual assistant, right, to help us, or actually we hired like a tattoo artist to make the logo, right? That's kind of how the logo came to be. And then we hired a virtual assistant to help us with the designs, right? And then they send you, a couple designs, and then, you give your feedback. Okay, we want to change this. And then you start to figure out what the design you want, right? And then you start talking to the manufacturer and you ask for samples to see what's the garment going to consist of. And then you get like 3 samples and then you test them out. Okay, cool. This does great in a workout. This doesn't feel good. We want to switch this, right? And that's where the silhouette comes into effect, right? Okay, let's drop the shoulder more. Let's cut the length a little bit. Let's change the fabric. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then you send it back to the manufacturer. And then you put in your order. The order, since our manufacturer's in China, it takes time, like maybe like a month, right? And then you have to take into account like Chinese New Year. So like for 2 months, pretty much there's no activity whatsoever. So like if you're trying to let's say you start a clothing brand and you're trying to get fulfillment in like December to February, forget about it. They're not working, right? It's like literally the only thing. So like if you're planning to drop in March, you better be ready like September, right? Even before that. So It's like, yeah, like
Oh,
take into account like the time difference and how long it takes to get to to place the order, get it fulfilled, and then get it shipped out to you, and then you start to obviously fulfill the order. So yeah, planning like the campaigns, because we're doing a lot of storytelling in our campaigns. So planning the campaigns and planning the drops and like teasing the drop. It's kind of like it's been a whole process for sure. We're learning. I
yeah.
think we've gotten more efficient, and then like hiring a videographer, right, to like obviously do the campaigns, the photo shoots, and booking locations, and yeah, it was a lot more than what we thought it would be. But honestly, it's like it's not hard. It's just you just gotta do it. It's just work you gotta do, right?
Yeah, it's not like a Teespring where you can just put a graphic design on there. Teespring,
Yeah.
just fucking order it served in 2 days.
Right? And that's all that. And people are like, oh, like you should do this, and I'm like, oh, like that's gonna take me 3 months, right? So it's like, okay, cool, maybe I'll take that into account next time, right? So like, yeah. You kind of get what you get.
That's funny.
That's crazy. That the only other people I know that are in like the apparel game is the guys over at Mentality. I'm sure you've seen their stuff, right? Are you familiar with them?
I'm actually not familiar with them, no.
Oh, well, give them a follow. I actually got to do a photo shoot for them because the guy that they normally use was like unavailable, and they're like, my cousin was helping him out, and he's like, hey, like you want to come just like be a model? I was like, a model? What? And they're like, yeah, you could just like come take some photos, you get some like action shots, and they'll probably give you some shirts. I was like, all right, sweet. And they're very much into like, this almost like a Goggin style, like very much kind of like hard, like all about like kind of that, like, and good quotes, branding is always like, again, the message has been aligned for forever. And some people, actually a buddy of mine was like, I went to go buy this shirt and like I could have sworn it was you. I was like, yeah, that was like my minute of fame.
That's
yeah,
cool,
but
man.
like they have like their like one of the shirts I have says like mentality over everything, or over everything. And then there's another one that's like just like the insignia, and then on the back it has like the particular like you mentioned kind of like that campaign. They have ones that are, a lot of it is like God, like Greek or Roman, statues that are like fighting like Medusa and all that. So whatever,
That's cool. Okay.
mythology characters are in there. And so,
Yeah.
It's like, and that's like something that like a lot of people were like really digging. And like, even like the quality of their shirt was one that I hadn't felt like really anywhere else. Cause it had that like heathered look to it, or like that stained kind of effect to it, like in a gray. Actually, I can go grab it and show you kind of what it is. And I thought that was interesting because I was like, I don't think anybody's doing this in particular, but then that's when like I feel like they gained a lot of momentum. Pun intended.
It's funny. We always say that too. Always saying that too. Yeah.
Dude, that's how the team meeting is going to go. If this is not adding momentum to the brand, why are we even doing it? If it's going backwards momentum, no, we need to go forward.
That's how the team meetings go, man. Like, like we're just building a little bit of momentum, guys. We got this, just little by little. It's always going like that.
Live the brand, live the lifestyle.
Yeah, live the lifestyle, exactly. It's a lifestyle, man. And I'm excited to get to the point where it's like, that's all I'm doing, I feel like when we get to a point where like all we do, like, outside of our jobs, all we do is just building the brand, working on campaigns and growing the brand, I feel like it's going to accelerate a lot faster.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It's hard to do when you're putting your heart and soul in something and you're like, well, I still got to pay some bills. And this is still like understanding the lead times and logistics. And then what did we do well here? And then learning from it. That's like, you almost have to, it's like the first 5 years of any business. It almost feels like you're not getting any momentum, but you really are, because you're having to like, again, just be prepared, It
really is, honestly. I agree 100%. It's like work, get a little bit better, work, a little bit better. Nothing happened. Work. Overnight success, It's kind of how it goes. So
yeah. How do you deal with failure? Actually, before I was on with you guys, I was listening to this podcast episode, and it's the guy that like he's beaten 300 plus Guinness Book of World Records, and a lot of them do. But he's talking about like, dude, I failed countless times. One of which he failed like 5 or 6 times of the longest unbroken juggling, which was like 13 hours long. Yeah, like juggling for like legit 3-ball juggling for 13 hours. And he just talk about like the first time I went to go attempt it, my wife goes into labor, so I literally had to stop 9 minutes in.
Wow.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah, imagine like 7 hours in.
Well, he's like, he got the call, I guess. He's like, he started to do it. He's like 9 minutes. He's like, I can't keep doing this. What am I doing? My wife is going to be fucking pissed off if I don't go. But then he talked about like getting delirious and like having like vertigo and like certain things that would happen after just like, again, looking and doing this repetitive motion for that long. But again, he's like, yeah, but something about like wanting to get back and like try it again and again and again was like super enticing to him, you know? And yeah, so it was just like interesting. Like, I'm like, wow, like that's, again, if you're going to go after something that you're really like passionate about, it's going to require that. And what better way of like, maybe we need to do something like that, Seamus, that like we look at I guess there's like over 65,000 different variations of them. So we should look up some world records and start doing it, because we're likely going to fail, but I think there could be some that we could do.
Something
I know
cool.
Maybe you could do something with like running in Rubik's Cubes, dude. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'll do it, bro. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do like a run in a Rubik's Cube. I bet you you could do it. Like, how many fucking Rubik's Cube solves can you do while you run like a marathon or something like that? I don't know.
That'd be crazy.
Well, yeah, this dude literally has done like skipping a marathon. It has like the world record for skipping a marathon.
Yo, that's broken, bro. My knees, just thinking about it. My calves, just thinking about it. Oh
I
my
know.
He says you literally have to throw your shoes out after doing one marathon with them. They're like they don't last. So, I mean, the idea behind like personally going after something that you know is likely going to have a lot of failure and junction points, like, is, I don't know, it was like the right time of hearing that for me today, because I'm like, man, I need to put some work in. I need to be doing things. And then Pablo's coming in and talking about like, you know, like we're learning a lot along the way. And it's exciting. Like every day you probably wake up and like, again, you start feeling that energy, you know, you like get the,
well, I mean, there's even times like where you feel like it's not going to work. You doubt the whole process and you're just like, damn, like, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? Like, and you kind of start to have, it's like those thoughts are normal to have, but I feel like as long as you just keep showing up and just keep focusing on the bigger picture, like, you know what's going to happen. Just, it's okay for you to feel this way, right? It's all part of the process. And I feel like anyone that's got into any like level of success, like, doubts it, you know, because it's hard. It's really hard. Like it's like the 1% of people that make it are really the ones that just never gave up, you know, just like, you know, I'm going to make this happen no matter what. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And if that means I have to sacrifice a lot of things, then so be it. But that's just how you go about it, right? And if you don't, even if you do fail in the end of everything, like, you learn so much along the way, you know? And
do you feel like training yourself or training with other clients has really helped you with this adventure? Like, you know, like, do you,
100%. I definitely feel like training definitely helped me. I would say after coming to Equinox and after seeing how hard it is to build a business, right? Like your own business, not just like getting fed clients from Fitness 19. I saw how hard it was to just maintain a business and how much level and how much like attentive to detail you have to be in order for your business to thrive. It definitely feel like, especially being at Equinox, it really helped me. Like it's going to be inconsistent. There's going to be highs and lows, and you just have to make sure you learn how to handle that, right? And you learn how to manage, you know, expectations and manage your, like, honestly, like just having like positive and optimistic mindset is really going to help you. Because if you let yourself kind of get in that hole and you're just like, oh, I know it's not going to work, and you start kind of just talking negative thoughts, it's going to affect you. And you kind of almost like everyone can feel that energy off of you. But if you're like, you know what, it's okay, it's a bad month for me, cool, like, let me just keep moving forward, let me keep pushing hard, let me keep going stronger. And I feel like that's how business is, you know? Like sometimes like we've done so well one week, we did so many sales, and then the next week we're dry, right? It's like, cool, like, and I'm like, maybe like, you know, we can work to improve it, but again, it's like the highs and lows again, you know? You just have to adapt. Like, okay, let's figure something out, let's try something different, or let's try this, let's do that. But I think just always thinking about what you can do and the controllables is really going to help you stay on top. Just stay focused.
I want to ask you something there, because like, this is something I think about a lot. If you look at the most winningest coaches in the world or winningest athletes, you could see them in the top 3 of their category as the most losingest. They've lost the most. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I tell this all the time to people. Like when I was coaching kids with wrestling, when I wrestled from middle school all the way to college, I tell people all the time, I'm like, even my wrestling coach said this too. Said, dude, you guys, we've been at the top for 30 years, top 3 for 30 years, right? And you know, maybe you're a national champ. I got to make it to nationals, whatever. But it's like, if you really look at the pedigree, you have had to have so many matches to get where you're at that you've probably lost as much as you've won, or even more so. You just won when it mattered the most. And usually you won when it mattered most because you didn't let the last loss define you. You know, like Michael Jordan, for example, he's missed 9,000 shots, right? And he's had other pokes on, and you know, Tiger Woods, like worked out like a bat out of hell. Like he trained so hard, like a freaking football, strength and conditioning, doing all that stuff that he was training. He hurt himself, all these things. So it's like people think it's always going to be roses, but it's a lot of that up and down, Pablo. So yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, do you feel like that training, that collegiate semi-pro mindset really helped you out? Like, oh, I've been here before. I've felt this before. I felt what it means to get kicked in the face, lose all the time. It's all good.
I mean, 100%. Like, I feel like there was a point in my soccer career where I was just like, I hadn't hit puberty yet. All the kids were faster and stronger than me, and I sucked, honestly. Like, I was pretty bad. And but before that, like, I was I was so good. I was like a genius. Everyone said, "Wow, this kid's gonna be something great." And then I hit this point where I was really bad, and that's where I realized, honestly, for me, one of my biggest inspirations, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Growing up, actually, I named my dog after him. Because of how much he inspired me. And he just talked about, like, it doesn't matter like what you have, it doesn't matter where you start. It's really about how much hard work you put into it, like your work ethic. Like, it's like that quote, right? Like, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard enough. And that's kind of what really inspired me, like, through soccer, was like, you know what, like, doesn't matter where I'm at right now. It's where I can be.
Yeah.
And if I put in the work, I can get to a good level of success. You know, and I ended up playing at a really good level, really high level for myself.
Yeah.
So I was happy with what I got with my soccer career, you know. But yeah, it's the same thing with anything you do in life. It's like hard work is always gonna trump anything.
Yeah, I love that. Hard work is like the best equalizer. I tell the people, like, when talent doesn't work hard. I love that quote so much because it's an equalizer. Like, people, I use this all the time. People could be so much more talented with you. I have a lot of combat athletes that I coach, and they're like, yo, Seamus, like, you know, I just got my blue belt, which is like one of the first belts. And it's like, I'm always rolling with these black belts. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what can I do to equalize it? It's like, well, obviously they have like 20 years of you. They got 20 years of technique. They have all this wisdom and stuff like that, right? But they also got 20 years on you. You're younger than them. Let's get some athleticism going. So, like, you know, get the athletic. And sometimes there's an equalizer when it comes to hard work. You know, like, maybe it's just the mindset that day. And like a lot of these young guys that have coached up, or any of our clients really, right, Marcos, where if they just put effort, I like to say this all the time, effort is sexy. Effort is something that should be chased. If you could just put an effort and hard work into something, it will probably, it's going to equalize a lot of the other deficits in your life. Like, probably with like momentum, or Pablo, it's like you just said, if you just keep showing up, doing the hard work, all that stuff, yeah, sure, we had a bad week, but it's probably going to equalize in the long run. And you're like, look at the sales. It's overall like been killing it. You know, 1 week sucked, but we just keep showing up.
Yeah, honestly, 100%. Just keep showing up, no matter what happens. Keep showing up, and just that over time, all that effort builds up, and now you got an overflowing cup. You know, and that's kind of how it is for anything you do in life. So, I'm a firm believer of hard work. You know, my dad really instilled that into me, and I'm gonna instill that to my kids. And I feel like, you know, if you want to do anything in life, it really just takes a lot of hard work. If you're willing to outwork your competitors, you're gonna win. Right? That's really how it goes.
True. So true. I'm like getting jazzed up right now. I'm like, I want to do some fucking work right now. Just beat the competition. Exactly, dude.
It's funny. It's like the visualization technique, essentially, like, you know, doing the hard work, but also thinking about it, kind of it all being on the center of your mind. It's like you're bringing up Kobe Bryant, and it makes me think of the free throw visualization technique, where people are like different skill levels. Apparently, I only ever heard it with like people that were like, again, proficient at shooting. Like, people that are like beginners obviously need to shoot the ball because they don't know the motion enough to like actually let visualization take over and like be where they're getting like practice reps. But when you do kind of enter into like, you know, maybe a novice or intermediate of that level, the visualization of those things lead to just as good of outcomes as actually doing the work too. So, you know, there's so many ways that you know, the basketball analogies and things that showcase like visualization can help with. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like the power of manifestation. You know, like, speak it into existence. Like, whatever you want, you speak it out to the universe. The law of attraction. So I feel like that's really important, and that's really what Kobe Bryant really just preaches about. You know, he's like, I'm gonna be the best basketball player, and I don't care what anybody says, and I'm not letting anybody take into it. And he got, for me, he's one of the GOATs. So he got to, you know, be pretty.
I mean, Kobe's next level. I mean, the fact that he said that, but then when you were seeing what he did, you know, did a workout 9 a.m., did another workout 1, then did a workout to end the day. He's doing 3 workouts a day. And I love one of the interviews about him. They're like, yeah, I wanted to like show Kobe that like I could do the thing too. I could do the thing too. So one of his athletes decided to show up to one of his workouts, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna be there early. I'm gonna get there early. And Kobe was already there earlier than that guy. So it just kind of shows like there's levels to that level
Dude,
of commitment. You know what I'm saying?
there's
Like
levels to it, man.
people think like, oh, I'm going hard. It's like you think you're going hard. Wait until you hang with this guy.
There's always someone working harder than you, you know?
Yeah.
It's always going to be the case.
Yeah. Well, I'm okay with people doing that at this point in my life. I think kids have slowed me down. There is, I'm like, you know what? If I stay on this path, and I've now made some mistakes and I've definitely taken some L's, but understand that like, okay, if I do get to this phase again where I actually need this service or this thing, then I know where to go and search for it. But trying not to be overly ambitious. I almost want there to be problems with regards to processes before I start thinking that I need this thing that will solve the problems. And Seamus knows what I'm talking about. It's like we're putting the cart before the horse here, So I'm like, I'm gonna be a little more patient, but I need to show myself I can get back to doing the level of work that was helping drive momentum for us a year ago. I mean, we were like, I was like, Seamus and I were talking today, Pablo, about like where we're at with like the podcast, and like we're like, damn, like we know what to do. We know what it takes. We know what it's done for ourselves personally and what we get out of it. But we need to get back into putting that level of energy into it again, so we can reap the outcomes that come out of it. The connections, the just chatting with people, hearing what they're doing. Like, damn, apparel company? That's cool. Don't even know where to start with that. Probably not on the table for me or Seamus, because
hey, we didn't know where to start with it either, man. But we just said F it, we're gonna do it. Let's just send it. Might as well.
Yeah.
You learn from it, right? I feel like you learn a lot from failure, like we talked about. And you even talked about like having a family. And I feel like what really kind of kept us consistent too was like figuring out what our why was, like what our purpose is. And I feel like for me, my biggest thing was I don't come from a lot. So like I really want to retire my parents. So like every time I get like unmotivated and I get like maybe have a lot of doubts, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fears, I'm like, I always remember like why are you doing this? Like why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you sacrificing so much? Why are you working so hard? And it's because at the end of the day, I really want to retire my parents and take care of my family. So that's really like having that bigger purpose and having that in mind. I'm like, okay, like when it's getting hard, when you're tired, when you're feeling sick, or when you're feeling unmotivated, like come back to your why. So that's kind of what keeps me strong. And you said you have a family, so I really resonated with that. Like I always think about that too. Even my future kids too. Like I want to make sure that I'm, the best I can be for them as well. So.
Yeah, it changes your perspective when you have your own family and you're building your thing, and you want to be, again, maybe it's my why is being the most present father while also taking care of like the household, and also figuring out where the right balance of those time and energies need to go. And it's changed a lot more in the last year. It was like, honestly, I had more pressure and stress last year to try to take care of a 2-year-old versus a 3-year-old. It's like a massive difference in terms of like the cognitive ability and things like that. And, that why of retiring my parents, like, I mean, my parents were a little older, I think maybe your parent, how much older are your parents than you, out of curiosity?
My dad was born in 68. My mom was born in 70. So I think they're about like 54, 56, right?
68 and 70. Yeah. So my parents are, they got like 10 years on yours. How old are you, Pablo?
Yeah. I'm 26.
26?
I'm old, man. Yeah.
No, you're not old. I'm 31. I'm the oldest one here. I'm usually never get to say that.
Yo, 26, Pablo. You get the runway still, bro. You get the runway.
Yeah,
man.
I'm just trying to send it, bro. Just whatever comes my way, let's just go full force.
You know what quote you are? It's like, oh man, life's a marathon. You're like, no, dude, I sprint marathons. Like.
Yeah, life
honestly, you're right. Like people say life's a marathon, but it's like, dude, like speed is so important. Like if you have an idea, just do it. And if it doesn't work, cool, you learn from it, right? But if you wait, I just feel like you're holding back so much like effort. You know what I mean? Just like do it. Speed kills.
Speed is king, man.
Well, life is a marathon, but life is a marathon of sprints.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's a good one.
Literally, I keep always saying that, and Seamus, like every time that we put a sprint and a hard stop, and this is what we're doing, and this is what's going on, then we're talking about the next thing. It's like, okay, this is 90 days, this is the next 90 days, this is the next 90 days. Like, I mean, but it's a marathon of sprints because, like, shoot, I mean, you mentioned, community and a few other things here that resonate with me. Like, Yesterday I got an adrenaline rush from an event that I've done for the last like 12 years. It's like my goal now, like I thought about it as I'm like, why am I getting nervous about this event that I'm going to do with my wife that we lost last year? You know, I was like, we want to redeem ourselves, but like, why am I still nervous about this competition? And then I realized this is that is my marathon event. I keep myself ready to go perform at this event every year because it was where I like started. It's like where I cut my teeth here locally. And like this event means so much to me, not only from the fact of like, just like personal excellence, but like the fact that that community still exists, or people can like that are just first coming into doing CrossFit, and it's like a really cool event. And shout out to Chad and CrossFit Apollo for putting this event on for 13 years now. I think I've been there since not the
Wow.
first year, but 13 years holding a CrossFit event, getting better every year, and finding like the way of keeping on bringing people back, you know, and like yeah, so like my life, like you're saying, it's like this marathon. It's like yeah. It's a marathon. I know this is coming back next year. I know that they don't want to go anywhere. But I also know that like when that announcement comes and I see that like, hey, we're getting ready for this event, it's a sprint to get ready for that thing.
It's
I
go
cannot
time.
train CrossFit anymore, you know. But I
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
nervous,
sure, yeah.
James. I got nervous yesterday.
Hey, that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yeah, I feel like we work better under pressure. You know.
Oh yeah, but like I feel like I haven't had a level of like that level of purpose again at times. You know, like that purpose seeking and connecting back to the why. Like, you know, you have that really noble why of like retiring your parents. I kind of saw like different things. My parents again being a little bit older, you know, because we're similar in age, like 5-year difference, not too much. Whereas you know, a decade for parents could be a little bit. And I was like, oh, my parents are teachers and they've been doing it really since I was a young kid. So like as I like got to a place where like cognitively I know what's going on, I'm like, they're getting close to like retirement age, but they told me they're not going to retire. They're going to keep working. I don't have to worry about retiring them. They're going to retire and they still want to work. And then
Yeah.
Seamus and I being in the positions that we're in, everybody that we talk to that are like go-getters and like the big hitters in like whatever industry they're in, they never once, every time I ask them, like, you ever think about retirement? They're like, no, I'm retiring when I'm dead. Like literally if I'm kicking, like I need to be doing something.
It is the weirdest thing, Pablo, but I think you're cut from the same cloth like Marcos and I are. Obviously, talking about costs, you know, we'll definitely flee the momentum. But it's like obviously working with like the Equinox folks, the premium folks, Synergenics are working with the premium folks. Dude, it is crazy to see. I think it's a mindset thing, right, Marcos? Where like we kind of think about like mind viruses and like you know waking up from the matrix or certain things, and you see like the most successful people across all domains of life, not just like finances or business, but the most successful people, they want to live life full throttle, right, Pablo? Kind of like what you're saying, but in all domains and like play life well. And every single person that I know that wants to play well, they're like, nah, I don't want to retire. I love what I do so much. It's such a big part of my purpose. But they got to a point where it's like they love what they do, but it's not the thing that defines who they are completely. Like they are still doing their family thing. They're focusing on their health. They're traveling and stuff like that. Obviously, we're all in different seasons. We're in that like 20-year-old to like 40-year-old season where we probably gotta make the name for ourselves. We gotta hustle. We gotta say yes, and we gotta do the thing for a little bit. But dude, that's the one thing that I've always noticed, right, Marcos? Where it's like the best of the best are like retirement. What the fuck? No, dude.
I don't know. It's been a recent revelation.
That's not even on my mind, you know? Yeah.
It's weird though, because like I think I had that same kind of ambition early on too. I was like, I want to make money to take care of. I didn't even have a family at that time, right? Like to take care of them so that they're set. Only to then realize it's like they've been doing kind of the exact same thing because I'm the only child. Like we're just trying to save money so that he's set when we're gone. I'm like, dude, okay, so we both are going to the same goal, but like in a weird way. Like, but I mean, like that's again where family is such an important and crucial thing to. I mean, at the end of the day, like really all you have is your blood, right? Like, and you know, you want to make sure you hold those relationships near and dear. And again, like shows that. I think, you know, that motivator, that why of like doing that again, is like, yes, it's a great drive, you know what I mean? And it's like, I think something that Seamus talked about it too. He wants to retire his parents, his mom, right? Just seeing how hard she's worked for however many years. And then, but then what? You know, what's the why after the why? Like if we get there and we get to that goal,
What's next?
What's
that's
next?
where I really believe like like your like you're gonna have a purpose in life, right? But purpose can always change, you know. My purpose was to be a soccer player at one point in my life, and then now my purpose is to retire my parents, and then maybe my purpose becomes to take care of my kids, making sure they're good when I leave, you know. So like purpose is always gonna change, and it's okay. Just figure out your purpose and identify what it is and pursue it, you know. Hence, pursue your purpose. So that's kind of what we really.
That's right. It's on your shirt. It's all. It's
I
all.
love it, man. It all comes back to it.
And I love the analogy.
Purpose, man.
Yeah, I love the fact that you recognize that it's like this moving goalpost, because I keep on feeling like every quarter the purpose and the why are changing based on, well, I mean, in the next 90 days, we know what's going on there. And I'm like, dude, I'm not even into politics. I'm already sick of my parents talking about it. Like, yeah, like, have you read this thing? I'm like, no, because the things that actually matter, like those things are going to happen kind of regardless. I'm going to vote for the person I think is the best fit. You know, you don't even need to know who it is, and then we'll go about our lives, because the thing that's most important is like not causing commotion and strife in our family dynamic, because because of the fact that I'm voting for the guy and you're voting for, you know, and I'm voting for a guy that is the head of something. I'm not voting for that person. I'm going off of what I think the other benefits are. And it's, oh man, like there's so many things that go on in life that like cause these differing emotions, guys. It's crazy. It's freaking crazy. But the why, the adjusting of the goalposts and the purpose, and like pursuing the purpose and understanding that pursuing what matters most is likely going to change has like been a big revelation since I turned 30. So Seamus, welcome to the club, bro. You're gonna start feeling that way like every quarter now.
Yeah, I've been taking a page from your book, looking at the 90 day sprints, breaking down the seasons and going like, 30. Okay. It's starting to play life a little bit differently. Pablo, I know we have to make sure we have a hard stop for you, just because like you said, grinding every day, still taking care of clients. It sounds like you got a few more. I'd like to kind of just put a bookmark here. We're definitely going to have to do part 2, another collaboration of sorts and things like that. But
yeah, definitely. Man, this was fun.
I like this a lot. The first kind of conversation that we usually like to have is just introducing you. And it's nothing too crazy. We'll probably do a part 2 where we go deeper into like whatever. But tell people where they can find you, about Momentum, you, and just kind of supporting the brand overall, how they can, and anything exciting with the brand that's happening. I know you said like every 90 days something's coming out or some marketing things. Yeah. So
you can find us on Instagram, right? We mostly post on Instagram. I have my own Instagram as well. Mine is Pablo_Buenrostro IV, so IV, right? I'm 4th generation Pablo in my family. And then Momentum is going to be Momentum _US. Again, we're going to be on Instagram. I have also the link in my bio for the website and the Instagram as well. So yeah, that's pretty much where you can find us. Coming up, we're actually going to drop the white tees, I believe maybe in a week, right? Maybe max 2 weeks. White tees are going to be dropping soon, right? Our legacy tees. And it's like nice white, premium fabric. So that's coming out soon. We're working on some shorts too. Shorts are my favorite actually, because I'm really enjoying the silhouette and just designing the shorts and the fabric. So those are coming out soon too. And yeah, that's kind of what we got going on right now. We're coming out with a different collection too, so that's gonna be exciting, right? Okay. This has been a part of our Trainers Club collection. Now we're gonna go into something different, right? I'll give you a sneak peek. It starts with movement, so that's just kind of like the collection name of it. So
I like
that's a little sneak peek of it. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what's coming up with Momentum. It's exciting. We actually just started a podcast too. We've been doing some podcast stuff too, kind of like experimenting with how that does and everything. So we're also working with the podcast. We had our first guest not too long ago. He's a professional arm wrestler. So he actually he's actually the manager at Fitness 19, my old PTM.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Ole, you know Ole, right?
No, I don't actually.
You're fine, if you don't see him. Yeah, so he's a professional arm wrestler. He's from Ukraine. He's a beast. And yeah, it was exciting just picking his brain and talking about his journey.
Imagine shaking his hand. You're gonna break an arm.
dude, he's like the craziest like natty I've ever met in my life, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, Ukrainian blood runs deep.
Dude, it's insane, man. Like he's done like 30 muscle ups in a row. Some crazy thing. What's that? How's it going?
Yeah. So, well, it looks like you're getting
Thank
summoned
you.
there, Pablo.
Getting some love, Pablo.
Uh,
We keep it real in here.
Okay,
We
thank
keep
you.
it authentic. We're not doing like a professional. We just hit record whenever.
It's kind of cool. It's
Marcos, you
kind of
want to
cool.
close?
You guys
Oh, I
see
like
this?
that. You got a little
what
nice
is
slip.
what is what is that? Oh,
It
Launchpad
says
for longevity.
Launchpad for longevity. Yeah, it's kind of cool. He talks a lot about like anti-aging. So
Oh,
Well,
sheesh.
you should introduce. Well, Seamus, you should go have Paulo introduce you. for,
yeah,
for
and there's a lot of connects at Equinox. That's kind of the beauty of being here too. Like I feel like being surrounded by like-minded individuals really helps like elevate your mindset. That's why it's important. I think it's important if you want to be again whatever you want to be, surround yourself with people like that. It's going to happen. A lot of people here are entrepreneurs. A lot of people here are successful. If you surround yourself with people like that, by default, you're going to become that. So I think it's beautiful being
Osmosis.
your osmosis. Yeah. But yeah, Pablo, man. So I mean, obviously, it seems like just for people that might be listening to this, like beginning of August is like when you have that predicted launch of the white tea.
Our legacy oversized teas. Yeah,
like legacy oversized white tea
a new
in the
legacy
beginning of
begins.
August.
Yeah.
So if this does air after that, we're just letting people know it probably already exists. So you go take a look at that and hit the link that we'll have listed at the episode.
We got two colorways. We got the white and then we got the obsidian colorway as well.
Obsidian. It's not black. It's obsidian, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's like a little like darker gray, I would say.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I guess there is technically not. Okay, I got you. But yeah, I mean, guys, we just wanted to again thank Pablo for his time. We want to help support people doing it, and dude, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that I've learned recently, and if I were to ever start an apparel brand, it's really all about like that community sense. So like that podcast thing, for what it's worth, whatever advice, and not that you're asking for it, I'm give it anyways. Like building up like that community vibe with it and getting people to help be a part of that, whether it is on the podcast, talk about like why they like the things and giving that feedback and like constructive criticism is where I've found that a lot of people that are in that space have talked about like helping it blow up even more. Cause then, it's like they feel as if they're a part of the design process. Like you're putting that into like the heads of them and like, oh man, this person's going to take this thought into consideration of like why this thing didn't move as well. And a lot of companies now, like, again, Seamus was talking about Reebok and why Reebok kind of like quote failed when like with branding in the CrossFit and the functional fitness space, right? It's because the stuff was like too gaudy. It was like too much going on, and they wanted like more of like a more modern, sleek look, kind of like what you're presenting to us right now.
Yep.
And like not necessarily like the front could be like kind of really clean, but the back kind of has a little bit more of a statement piece, And that's where like when Noble stepped in for a very short period of time, they just use it to springboard themselves and like get their NFL contract essentially. But again, very minimalist things, like, the name of the brand, there wasn't a whole lot going on. And, granted, I feel like the way that it fit the games athletes when they had their contract for like 2 years, like was almost too tight. It was like they were all wearing like compression stuff, and it took me back to like 2008.
Dude, too much. It's cool, but it's too much,
Yeah, you want to have that, but
breathe. Yeah.
So, dude, wish you all the best of luck, and have like a ton of success with your guys' endeavors there. Definitely gonna cop me a shirt or two, plus that hoodie. I like the hoodie. The hoodie's nice. So everybody that's listening, the hoodie is it's definitely calling my name. Nice. Is it obsidian or is that one black? I'm sorry.
That one is black. That hoodie, okay. Actually, honestly, the reviews on the hoodie have been amazing. It's a very heavyweight hoodie. I mean, you'll see. Yeah.
It might be too much for here in Vegas because it does not get very cold. So
awesome.
Oh, you're in Vegas. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'm in Vegas. Seamus is in your neck of the woods. So, but yeah, everybody, everything's listed. Pablo, again, thank you for your time. And then until next time, Macro Perspective is out.